Hey, welcome to the Differently podcast. This is episode 1. My name is Breeze. This is just the intro. For the actual episode, I will not be like this. I actually, when I recorded it and viewed it back, I really liked what I had to say, but I just didn't like the lighting. So we're already off to an absolutely fantastic start to this episode. I did try to redo it and it just wasn't the same. So for this one, you'll just be listening, and I still hope that you get a lot of value out of it. So I'm just going to go cut straight to the episode. So see you on the other side. Hi, welcome to the Differently podcast. My name is Breeze. This is a podcast for the purpose-driven artists and creatives who want to do things differently. We go into a lot in this podcast. We go into just life lessons, practical tips on content creation, engaging with your audience, and, how do we start to actualize our purpose? I wanted to touch on today about probably something that you have heard multiple times. You're probably already executing it really well, but I kind of want to bring, I guess, a new perspective to it. And that is all about goal setting and what to focus on when you are setting your goals. If you're in the music industry, particularly, my background is like that's the industry I've been in majority of my life. I would actually say like all my life. And I feel like I've come across a lot of different moments where I've learned like a lot of different things when it comes to goal setting. So just, I guess, through experience and trial and error, these are just some things that I found very, very handy. So I also have some notes because I don't want to just ramble on. I want to try and keep these short and sweet, but also be very valuable to you. And I want to leave things that you can ponder throughout the week and work on throughout the week. So we are here, and if you are here, I'm here, we're all here because we want to see our vision come to life. And that takes a team, that takes a community, that takes the right mindset, and it takes doing things a little bit different than what we are, I guess, are used to. So, just in general, like before we get into it, we are our biggest, we can be our biggest champion, and we can also be our biggest flaw. So we have to really take the time to get to know ourselves on a very, in a very intimate way. We have to come into a very deep awareness of what are things that make us valuable. And also what are things that are going to, I guess, be our greatest enemy when it comes to ourselves. Like we all have qualities about us that can help us and help our environments. And we all have qualities about us that, can just become very destructive. So that I think is for another episode, but I wanted to just kind of throw that out there because it does tie into goal setting. So just right off the bat, like, I want to know and just write in the comments, if goals is something that you struggle with, or if writing down goals and kind of setting goals is something that, you would actively doing all of the time. I know for me, like, I kind of sit in both camps. I'm kind of starting now to get into the habit of writing the goals down in a more in-depth way. I like to find I am a very like big thinker. I'm like all about the vision, and I'm learning how the steps to get to the vision are just as important as the vision itself. So it's kind of like thinking as the vision is like this invitation to what's possible, right? Now we have to get to the grunt work, and the grunt work is our goals. So they're very like more, they're a lot more practical. They're a lot more strategic they're a lot more in the lane of discipline. Whereas, the vision and the things that we want to achieve that are going to make us feel accomplished and fulfilled, and all those good things, that's kind of in the lane of like the more motivating things. But the goals are what is gonna keep us very disciplined to get there. There is like no way around it. This podcast is not for people that want to just live in the clout lane. This is for people that like want to get in the trenches. They want to get down and dirty. You want the blood and the sweat, not just the tears. So I think like with every goal that you want to place, the intention is like a huge thing. What is your reason? Why are you even doing it in the first place? What is this like driving thing? Your vision is, think of it as your North Star, right? Your goals are the like little milestones along the way, but your intention is literally a very present thing. What is your intention for something? And, to be real with you, I think it's very difficult to really know what our true intentions are if we are not doing like a lot of like inner work. For a long time, I thought I had like really great intentions for things. I was doing music because I wanted to make people happy. I wanted the stadiums filled because I saw the bad in the world, and I wanted, to build I guess a presence and an influence enough to fill these stadiums so everyone in there, could have a good time. Like, to me, in my mind, that was showing that we can all get together in the masses and all concentrate on just one thing. But, it's kind of like deep down, that was filling this need to have this external validation. And it wasn't until I had to have like this like real talk with myself of being like, nothing outside of in the world or anything can validate things that I already have. I'm already valuable, I'm already worthy, and I'm already loved. I don't need to have people or these accomplishments or even, anything outside of that, like that to prove that to me. That's something that I already have. And, that's really true for you too. So when we're writing these goals down, intention is really like this driving force that is going to keep us on the path, because we have to stay on the path. When you make the decision, right? There's like two ways of looking at it. Think of it as like two pathways, right? We're all going along this path, and we're all just getting into music, where we're writing, we're creating, whatever it is we're doing. The minute we say, this is what I want to do with my life, this is what I know I was created for, now we've switched lanes. Now we're in an element of, okay, this is something that I'm going to do. Well, I have to figure out how this thing is going to feed me. I have to figure out how this thing is going to pay my bills. I have to figure out how to be responsible, how to be good at business. How do I nurture a community? Like, there is all these added responsibilities that come with that very statement of, this is what I want to do. And so this is why I know that intention is a really important thing when it comes to our goal setting, And this is, I guess, this is where I want to hang around for most of this episode, because there's so much information out there on goals and the different types of goals. You may have heard of SMART goals. You have your short-term goals, you're like kind of in the middle kind of goals, and then you have your long-term goals, which are kind of like 10, 20 years from now, those types of goals. And you may have heard of like reverse engineering and all of those things. I I was thinking about, do I want to present that to you, or do I want to, do things differently and kind of come across with a different perspective. And so that's the space I really would like to hang around with, if this is something that interests you, is the intention for why you were even doing this to begin with, and kind of understanding the responsibility that comes with, this is what I want to do with my life. It is a big responsibility, and it's something that does need to be taken somewhat seriously. So I know, being an artist myself, being a creative, I've always been told, like, you got to try on these different hats, and it's, I just want to do the music. I don't even want to tap into the business. And it's always been made out to be this very like separated thing. But I don't believe that it is a separated thing. I believe that it is the same thing. It all can coexist in the same space. We just need to get skilled at knowing what our intention is, and where does our focus need to be? What do we need to focus on? And that's intention is really going to be a big player in that. So when you before you even sit down to write out your goals, and you have all these ideas of what you want to achieve and what you want to do, take a minute to just kind of, I guess, meditate on, why am I doing this in the first place? Really, really, why am I doing this? And that might even come to a place of being like, man, I gotta be honest, I am doing this for external validation. And then you have to really sit with that, being like, is that a way I want to be operating in my life? Like, do I want to be only doing things for the applause, or doing things because I like that pat on the back, and it becomes this, this almost like this drug, like this hit that needs to be like kind of had. Do you really want that? Like, really sit there and ask yourself that, because that's also a big decision. Or is it something that you're like, what, I need to figure out what is the bigger thing at play here? Why do I have this desire, and why am I knowing on the inside that this is something I'm meant to do? What's the bigger play here, right? How am I to use this as being of service and fueling something, or meeting some kind of need, right? What is the purpose? What is the intention behind what I am doing? And that can be in so many different lanes, like that can sit in so many different camps. It's really just up to you how you decide to conduct yourself. I think we have seen time and time again in this industry, we don't need any more people that are just out there for themselves. We need people that really want to operate in their truest self. You want to operate out of the truest that you can ever be, and that's not for the lighthearted. That isn't it. It's not. There are just things in life that are not going to come to you easy, and just through my own experience, like, the battle is between the ears, right? That's where the biggest battle is at play. Like, we are our greatest champion, and we are also our greatest enemy. That's how I kind of started this podcast right off the bat. And I mean, yeah, man, like, this is what the podcast is. This isn't for people that want to sit and complain and dwell in what's not going right for them. This is for people that are like, you know what? I'm ready to make some changes, and I'm ready to be curious about operating a little differently to how I am, because, I want to be executing the way that I do see myself envisioning. I do want to see my communities thriving. I do want to see my business thriving. I want to see the people that I'm collaborating with thriving. All of this is so possible. Like, we see it time and time again. And, so Um, I guess like when it comes to your intention, that is what's going to be driving you to your goals. You think of them as milestones. Now, I want to offer a different way to tackle goal setting, particularly if it comes around, a release of a song. And we usually go to, okay, I want X amount of streams. And if it's, anything on our social media, I want an X amount of new followers and all that. There are some things that we cannot control. So if we think of the numbers, right, we can't control people jumping on board with what we're doing. We can't control people being like, okay, you told me this is going to be your hit single. I'm all for that. Like, there is a transparency that has to be happening when you are engaging with your fans, and that is you are showing a part of you that is what they are seeing in themselves. And the I guess the trick is trying to really figure out what that is. Why is someone my fan, or why is someone in my community? I kind of like really, I feel like the word fan is just like an old person's word now. So like we could say community, right? What is it about me that that my community is seeing in themselves? And that's the game right there. So to kind of say, when I release this song, for me to feel fulfilled, right, I need 100,000 streams on Spotify. Again, what is your intention for that? What is the purpose of that? And how is that also going to better you and project you into where you need to go? These are just the questions that I'm kind of wanting to leave with you. What I'd like to offer is, when you are setting goals, make it on things that you can control, right? So you could be looking at your year this year and you have a bunch of music that you're ready to release, and you have all these ideas on how you want to release it, right? And it really excites you and motivates you, and you're getting like hyped up. I mean, I love that feeling, right? What is it that you can control? Well, you can control when you're going to release. You can control how many times you're going to release, and you can control, I guess, the content that you're going to be getting ready, how many times you want to post. And these are the goals that you want to be setting, right? So you might say like, okay, I have 5 new songs that I want to release this year. I want to release those 5 within the next 6 months, and around each song, I want an in-studio like live version. I want a slow down reverb version. Like I want a bunch of like different TikToks to go with it. And you know what? I might actually hang around on TikTok a little bit. I might, post every day about this song, and I might go live on my Instagram. Like, these are the things and the goals that, I feel are going to, as you are now holding yourself to that, right? That's what's going to make you feel more fulfilled and more focused, because, by the end of the 6 months and whatever, you're able to tick off all those boxes. It really doesn't even matter what the numbers are at that point. You did what you set out to do. And that's what's going to keep you going and keep you moving, because like I said, you're your biggest enemy, or you're your biggest champion. So like, let's be your biggest champion this year. Like, let's decide that this year. Write in the comments, I'm going to be my biggest champion this year. And do the things that you're going to set out to do. So this is just kind of like my take on goals. And I hope that it was valuable to you. I hope it's, giving you something to think about. And also I really hope that it's really like challenged you in some kind of way. That's what I want to do. I want to challenge you. And, I was challenged by this a lot because it's like, no, but I like, I've been told like this is the way, like it's all about getting more fans and getting more streams and getting this and getting this. And it's like, at some point I have to have something to give, I have to give something, so try that this week when you're sitting down and writing your goals for whatever it is that you are wanting to do. It might even be, I need to write more, like put the time in, set the time in. I'm going to put 3 times this week. I'm going to set out 3 hours throughout my week where all I do is write, and hold yourself accountable to that, be your biggest champion. And that's what I've got. I feel like next week we can kind of get into more of that in, I guess, a different lane. So yeah, just remember like those couple of things. And yeah, just let me know how you're doing. My DMs are always open. And yeah, like I said, this is the Differently podcast, where it's for purpose-driven artists and creatives that want to do things differently. Thanks for watching. And I'm Breeze, by the way. That was a very awkward ending, but it's all good. That was the episode. I hope it brought some value to you, that it left you with some things to think about, and that it challenged you in some kind of way. In the IG group this week, I did post a challenge, and that challenge was to look over everything in your day and pick one thing that you would approach differently. And so I loved reading all of your answers, and thank you so much for doing that. And I did pick someone that their answer resonated with me the most. So the challenge is the answer that I pick, you would be a guest on the podcast. So I do have that. And the artist name is Virtues. He's a really, really great artist. Just, content is on point with this guy. You need to go to his page right now and check it and just, see the way that he does it. But his answer really stood out to me because I think it resonated with me a lot. There is certain environments where you can kind of really tap into what you need to do. And, I guess you feel like that little bit free to sort of do those things. And then there's other environments where it takes a little bit of time to kind of really come out of your shell in a way. So I'm really excited to get in the room with him and just kind of get a little more insight into what that looks like for him. So again, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you're not in the IG group, go follow it. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, go do that. And yeah, I just hope that you have a nice week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.